Hello, welcome to the Y&Y YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Welcome to a Y&Y Extra video today. Today is an instalment of my kind of little Diary of a Yarn Shop Owner series. So if you're relatively new, I run a bricks and mortar yarn shop in South Wales in the small town where I live just outside of Cardiff. And every now and then I pop up a video with some shop news. Actually, this channel started as a way of me recording my journey as a yarn shop owner some 3.5 years ago. So this video is actually going to be really quite hard for me to get through because my little yarn shop, which has been my pride and joy for the last 3.5 years, is going to be closing. If you've followed me here for a while, you'll know that I've had this hanging over my head for quite some time. When I first took on the lease of the shop, it was for a 3.5 year period, and the building's been up for sale for about 2 years during that time. So there's been quite a lot of uncertainty hanging over me. And a couple of weeks ago, I contacted my current landlord because we were approaching the 2 months to the end of the contract period, and there's a 2-month notice period. So I contacted the landlord to find out what the current situation was with regards to my ability to extend the lease on the shop. And I asked them if I could extend the lease for 6 months or a year. Times are very uncertain at the moment. Obviously, we are in the midst of the global pandemic. We're not sure here in the UK, while things are opening up again, we're not sure whether we're going to have a second wave that everyone's talking about. We've also still got Brexit looming on the horizon, which is happening and is barely being talked about at the moment because of coronavirus. So there's quite a few challenges that would be upcoming over the next year. So I didn't want to extend my lease for more than that sort of period just to see how things were, and even that would have been a little bit of a risk. But they came back to me and said the best they could offer me was a rolling month-by-month contract, which for a business where you have to pay for the majority of stock up front, no guarantee of a return on your investment at the best of times, I can't in all consciousness accept that extension offer. So my only choice is to close the doors of my shop. Which I'm sure you can imagine is quite upsetting. I'm trying really hard to focus on what may end up being positives of this situation. So the bricks and mortar shop is now going to be open for the next 5 weeks or so. I think I'm heading for probably the 15th of August as a closing date. My lease here runs out at the end of August, and of course I need to vacate the premises, so I'm giving myself 2 weeks to try and empty the building at the end of my lease. I'm hoping this won't be the end of Yarn and Yarns though. It certainly won't be the end of the YouTube channel. I still plan on making my videos here. Over time, the channel has morphed from kind of a diary of my yarn shop journey into just a sort of general podcast, weekly chatter about what I make and other stuff in between. So I'm planning on continuing the channel in that format. I'm hoping that in terms of Yarn and Yarns, the business side of things, so I'm hoping to transform Yarn and Yarns to a small online shop for a few months at first to see how things go. I've got a lot of work ahead of me, so I'm not entirely sure when that will happen. In my head, I'm aiming for maybe a launch around the 1st of September, but that could change because I've got a lot to do in the next few weeks. I'm trying to focus on the positive aspects. If I have a small from home online business, then I can focus on some of the things that I really, really love, some of the yarn brands that I love, and maybe also sell some things that I make. It's all very up in the air at the moment. The news is quite fresh still. And my first priority is to clear the shop of as much stock as possible, and then obviously to empty it out at the end before I can really truly focus on what the next steps might be. So yes, I have let a lot of my regular customers know that this is happening. I haven't announced it officially yet, although by the time this video goes up I might have put some posts on social media to let the wider sort of community and my wider customer base know. But I'm planning on having a sale for the last few weeks, so with the exception of the hand-dyed yarn that I sell and Stylecraft Special DK, which there's not tons of margin in profit wise anyway, everything else is going to be 20% off until the doors close. So yeah, that's the situation. As I say, there's a lot of stuff for me to do, a lot of stuff to plan, a lot of stuff to get through over the next few weeks. But yeah, I'm trying to stay as positive as possible. I've known this is happening for the last couple of weeks, so a couple of you have messaged me to see if I was okay because you thought that my usual energy levels for the videos weren't quite there, and this is the reason. This has been kind of rumbling on in the background for the last couple of weeks, and I went through that whole kind of process of grief. I was really upset to start with, and then pretty angry, and now I'm just kind of resigned. I've got to get on and clear the shop and make plans for the future. So yes, trying to stay positive, trying to make plans for continuing the business in some way. I hope that I can, because at the moment finding a job in the current world climate is going to be pretty difficult, but if I can maintain some sort of level of income through a small web shop, then I'm kind of grasping at the fact that I won't have to sell so much because I won't have the same overheads, so I could potentially sell less and still have the same kind of income if I can get people on board. I've got a few hurdles to overcome. I need to contact all of my suppliers to see if they are happy to continue to supply me. I've done the majority of them, and so far everyone has given me the thumbs up. I need to just check out a few kind of boring things to do with insurance of keeping stock at home and stuff like that. And the biggest job is to get myself some sort of web shop. So yeah, lots to do. I'm also contemplating, and maybe you could let me know about what you think about this, starting a Patreon for the YouTube channel. I'm really lucky to have coffee donations on a regular-ish basis, and some people who donate on coffee donate on a regular basis. So I'm wondering if maybe I start a small Patreon page as a way for people who want to regularly donate, having kind of like an easy way to do it. You set up your payment and then you don't have to think about it. I'm kind of in two minds because I feel like Patreon is for like the big creators, the big makers, and this channel is really small. But I'm going to have more time at home, potentially more time to make videos again, so if I could get some sort of Patreon community, then maybe that will help me, to get something back for the time that I put in. Yeah, I'm very unsure about that, but yeah, if you have any thoughts about what you think I should do in that regard, then please do leave your comments below. If you want to help me clear my shop, then please get in contact with me if there's anything that you need, yarn, needles wise, pattern books. I think most of you are probably aware of the brands that I stock. As I say, some of those will be coming over to my web shop with me, but in the meantime, if you want to try and snag something at a reduced price, then now's the time. I'm also hoping to, by the time this video goes live, to have a Yarn and Yarns D-stash page on Instagram. There might not be anything on there yet, but my idea is kind of after the shop's closed, I'm going to have a bunch of stock to get rid of. I've also already got some stock at home, some Debbie Bliss stuff, some Rowan stuff that's been discontinued, and maybe I could put up a D-stash page on Instagram to try and sell some fixed quantities of yarn, so it won't be that you can choose the amount of balls of what I've got available. It will be like, I've got 10 balls of this particular yarn and this is the price that I want. So yeah, I'm thinking about that, and hopefully I'll have the bare bones of that page set up, even if there's nothing on there for sale yet, but I'll keep you updated with that. Community window display. So before the pandemic and before we got this news, loads of you really kindly donated some bits and pieces for my window display, and I'm still planning on doing that display. My shop's going to be open for the next 5 weeks or so, and the shop front will still be visible until at least the end of August. So I think I'm kind of, although this is a bittersweet time, I think that to end with a display that's been, I promised I wouldn't get emotional, but it was bound to happen. But to end to bring the bricks and mortar yarn shop to an end with a fabulous display that's been contributed to by so many of you out there, I think will be as awesome a way to end this journey as could be possible, really. Give the emotion, but I wanted to put a video up to let you all know what's going on, because you've all been such a great support to me over the years, and yeah, there's not really too much else I can say, I don't think, at the moment. If you've got any suggestions, ideas, things that might help me in the coming weeks and months, then please do leave them below, because yeah, there's so much going on in my head right now, and I've kind of got a plan and I'm working through it. We're changing some stuff at home so that I can have, we've got like a spare box room that we're clearing out so that I can have a little stock room at home. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. But it's going to be quite a busy and emotion-filled few weeks. I don't think there's really anything else to say for this video. Thank you so much for listening to me blather on, and for putting up with my emotional state. I hope you're all doing okay, and until we get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.